Well, thank you so much for joining Thursday Live. Today is May 29th. Thursday, as usual, 5 p.m. Our lovely Scottish folk Rosie is not joining me and us today. Today's topic is Trump immigration. I have some updates that I'd like to share with you. But for those of you who's joining, Ashtush, thank you so much for joining. Pedro, thank you so much for joining as usual from TikTok, YouTube, and then Instagram. You were able to post the questions. Thank you so much for joining, and then I will try to answer your questions live as much I can. I usually run this live about 30 minutes because I usually have a nonstop meetings every day, and then that's usually maximum I can talk to you. And then I do this every Thursday. And then for those of you who are joining from Facebook and the LinkedIn, you will watch this one later. But you're not able to post any questions. So sorry about that. But having said that, I'm attorney Jae Francis. I'm a U.S. immigration lawyer based in Chicago and Wisconsin, but serve all 50 states. So today's topic is a Trump immigration. But if you post any comments or the questions, I will answer as well. Now, one of the new development, right? There are so many of them, but when it comes to immigration, the Department of State, which governs the visa issuance in terms of interviews and all this week announced that they're going to pause all F1 student visa interview. So, and then idea is that they use this term, they're using it again under Trump, that they're going to apply extreme vetting. It means that they try not to miss anything. And then one of the way for heightened scrutiny is to look at your social media posting, and then where they're going, right? So, right now, you provide a social media handle, right? Login ID, but not the password, right? But we don't know what they're going to ask. So as of today, all F1 student visa interviews pause, not just a couple of countries across the board, until they implement what they call extreme vetting. Also, you probably know that there's a tension battle between Harvard University and then Trump administration, and then the government canceled SEVIS, which allowed the Harvard to issue I-20 and take international students. You probably know that about, thank you so much for joining, 25% of the students at Harvard are international students. So then the government is basically forcing them to go back to their country or not return or transfer to other school. There's an ongoing litigation. I think that today potentially we'll know what happened to this litigation in terms of the court stopping government from terminating SEVIS certification for Harvard. Now, you may think that, well, this is just student visa and Harvard, but it might be applicable to other visa categories and then other schools as well. So I know that some of you go to school in this country or like to come to US with a student visa. For those of you who know me, I came to this country many, many years ago on student visa as well. So just like some of you went through F1 visa multiple times, different school, and had a completed PhD, and then had a F1 OPT. That's how I started as a professor. But having said that, this is one of the intro, and then I'll chime in and then explain, some of the newer developments happening now. But having said that, I'm gonna start reviewing the question here. So the 777ZZZ, lots of 77ZZZ, attended marriage green card case interview Tuesday, and then approve I-130, but not 45. That's common. So what does it mean? When USCIS approve I-130, it means that there is no question about genuine relationship between you and your spouse, right? Looks like U.S. citizen. But how come they didn't approve your 45? They like to review whether you're subject to any inadmissibility. So, for example, they like to know whether, not you, but in general, whether this foreign spouse lie on visa application DS-160, right? And then whether there's other issue with your eligibility, criminal records, and all this. But sometimes it's not serious at all. So it's common that USCIS approve I-130 first and 45 later, but the question is how fast they're going to approve your 45. It can be next day, or it can be up to 30, 60 days later. So it's kind of hard to tell. Pedro asking question here. So then he has a pending K1 129F with the California Service Center. Is a 5-month, and then will it take longer? It's hard to tell. Just give me 1 second here. So one of the case that finally approved, final embassy approval took 8 months from the beginning to the end. But their I-130, I-129F approval only took 3 weeks. 3 weeks, not the 5 months. So, there's a good chance that the K1 may take up to 1 year now again. So usually 6 months, right? But even with this case that embassy consulate approved recently for us, as I mentioned, 129F was approved in 3 weeks. But overall, from the beginning to the end, there's a wait to get National Visa Center case number, wait for consulate to schedule interview. It took 8 months. Now, Pedro and other clients and some of you who recently filed 129F petition, potentially overall from the beginning to the end, it'll be about 1 year. We'll keep you posted, but that's what we project. Okay, so we'll get back to you. So 77, yeah. So then NIV. Yeah, so then it's about the Congressional Assistant. So some of you feel like your case is stuck. Sorry. Sometimes they don't schedule interview. Your case is pending quite some time before, after interview, or sometimes your spouse is overseas. You like to be reunited as soon as possible. Then you're thinking about enlisting politicians. It can be senators. It can be a House of Representative, right? It's called Congressional Assistant. Usually, Congressional Assistant is not helpful when it comes to my case is taking longer than usual. So they're not really helpful. But other regards, they may help you. So for example, your current employment authorization expiring, you submitted another type of EAD application, you filed expedition, but USCIS not fast, you're about to lose your job because you're about to lose employment authorization, then perhaps that's good occasion to enlist Congressional Assistant. But purely like my case is slow, I cannot wait, they're not really helpful. In fact, if you talk to them, they're gonna look up case processing time that you can find online, and then they will share that information with you. So they're not helpful. Okay, so we got quite a bit of active TikTok inquiries right now. Yeah, so then Miguel, Angel. So you have a Mexican K1 case, right? Mexican K1 case. Now, for Mexican K1 case, you need to add about 6 to 8 additional months on top of 1 year. So we're talking about 18 months as the best time frame for Mexican K1. because the case will go to Juarez, and there's a lot of people, not only K1, but immigrant visa, right? Hey, Don, thank you so much. Don's case was just approved, so we're happy for you. Giovanna, Don, just approved their cases. So, marriage green card case. Happy for you. Thank you for joining. So anyway, so the Mexican K1 cases, it's slower because there's a lot of people attending interview, not only K1 visa, but immigrant visa. So, but Miguel, if you need our assistant, although I don't speak Spanish, all my team members speak Spanish. We would be happy to help you. Just let us know. Now, this is, time that I'll talk. So for those of you who join from YouTube, you find the phone number, but TikTok, I'm not able to share or talk my phone number. So for those of you who's joining from, TikTok and Instagram, just go to my profile, Dr. Jae Francis, and then you can find the phone number. If you'd like to talk to our intake manager, Maria, or specialist, you can just call that number. That will give you a free case evaluation. But if you want to talk to me, it'll be paid consultations, usually 150 for Zoom meeting. So that's what we have. Okay, so I'm just catching up. So memories football, your I-130 petition is pending. Oh, okay. So then you're talking about USCIS processing time update on your My USCIS account. So I will tell you this, right? If you go to if you type up USCIS processing time on Google and then select, for example, Chicago, you're going to see average processing time for AOS is like 20 months. Partially true because some case takes that much, but that's not true, right? The marriage green card case, Chicago and other locations, if you submit it recently, it takes between 3 to 5 months for you to go for interview. So it doesn't take 2 years, but they will say it anyway. Other way to check processing time is to check your My USCIS account, and then they play with your mind, because in this case, previously say that his I-130 will take 1 year, and then later it's a 4 month, and then it changes. It's not accurate. And sometimes another problem is the USCIS will say that, well, interview was completed, although no interview ever scheduled. So I wouldn't worry too much. The important one is that the electronic notice that you get from your account. Okay, so and then sometime when you need to submit response to request for evidence, you can use that as well. But I don't really use or recommend using My USCIS account unless the following. Number one, reporting change of address. In fact, that's the only one. So you need to report your change of address through My USCIS account. That's number one. Number two, getting electronic notices. Now, we got notice the interview was scheduled, but we don't get actual notice. So what's the difference? Because unless you get actual notice, you don't know the date and time of your interview. You just know that interview has been scheduled. But our clients who have access to My USCIS account was able to download it instantly in a way and then share that with us. So highly beneficial. Downloading, reviewing notices. And the third one is the one that I just mentioned. If USCIS issue the request for evidence or some case, notice of intent to deny, notice of continuance, anything that we need more information from you, you can get it really fast. And then sometimes you can submit your response through your My USCIS account. So long answer to your question. Okay, so Maudino, he's asking how long C9 EAD takes. So you submit everything, right, AOS, and then about 60 to 90 days later, you'll get EAD. That's how long it'll take for our cases. So 60 to 90 days for C9 AOS-based EAD cases, okay. Shinda, I think that you asked and then joined this live previously. So is USCIS scheduling 7-5 on interview filed jointly? My answer is not really, not really. But good question here. So marriage-based green card case scheduled, yes. Parent green card cases scheduled for interview, yes. K1 base, yes. Right? 7-5 on individually file, yes, for interview. But jointly file a 7-5 on schedule for interview, I don't think so. We don't have anything yet, but I can be wrong, but we don't have it yet. Okay, so then Michael, well, I mean, you're talking about employment background check, and this is for U.S. immigration, live. So I'm not a criminal attorney. Sorry, I won't be able to tell you about that. So then his question is that his criminal record was expunged, but it show up in his employment background check. So I'm not sure. You should talk to employment lawyer or criminal lawyer. That's what you need to do, but that's not my forte. So sorry, won't be able to tell you. Okay, I'm just reviewing some of the question here. Okay, Evelyn submitted 290B. It can be a motion to reopen, motion to reconsider, but most of you, it will be a motion to reopen. It means that there's some, factual information that you didn't submit. So it can be related to A64 and then others. But you said okay. So based upon Evelyn's information, your case was denied for incorrect filing fee. So I just curious because if you submit your application with incorrect filing fee, USCIS will reject your application instead of deny it. We don't have anything like this because it doesn't happen. But if your case was denied, then just like to it's better to refile again. Okay, clean, properly done. If you need attorney assistant, just let us know. We will be happy to help you. Okay. Okay, so then Jordan asked, you know, she lost I-94, which is a critical because you have a burden to show that you enter with visa, right? So then I-94 will show that you enter with a visa and you lost it. And then, probably, this is the parent adjustment of the status case and there is no I-94, then you can try form I-102. I-102. That's you can get replacement of your lost I-94. If you need our assistance, let us know. But the form is I-102 if you misplace I-94. Okay. Okay. So Oscar asked. So then, based upon his question, after his 485 interview, right? 601, waiver was required, and you submitted today. Oh, good for you. Good for you. Sometimes it happens. So this is kind of related to another question that you went for interview. Officer approved your I-130 on spot, but didn't approve 485. Sometimes this would be precursor to 601 issuance or request. So what is 601 waiver? The common the scenario would be you came to US with F1 student visa, but for financial reasons or any reasons that you didn't attend any single class, you skipped all class, you never attended. So that's like visa fraud because when you enter the US with F1 visa, you're supposed to go to school. So it's a way to cure your visa fraud, misrepresentation, and then you go through 601. Usually 601 waiver, there's many ways for you to submit. You can submit with your 45 upfront if it's clear that you're subject to visa fraud. Another scenario would be you pay tourist visa agent, and they say, hey, just make it happen. I'll give you this money, and they just happen. And then you came to America, and later when you attended the interview, your officer accused you of lying on DS-160, and they said like, what did I do? And then officer say that, well, you said that you're married when you're not married. So just anything's possible. That is a visa fraud, tourist visa fraud. So you need a 601. So sometimes it happens after interview, and then there's a two variation. 601 waiver will be required in the context of request for evidence. Then this is nicer because you have 87 days, but super tight. Or sometime they will issue in the context of notice of intent to deny. You only have 33 days. We successfully handle all of this. So going back to your question, Oscar, so in his case, he probably was requested RFE, and then 601 waiver submitted today. And then how long does it take? We have some cases, especially with the Chicago and Milwaukee, approve less than 30 days, but usually like up to 2 months. But we have some case approved in 3 weeks, 601 waiver. But good question, okay? Okay, so CYN, your 45 was approved. You get do you get I-130 approval as well? Of course. So when your case is approved, right? So you get online notification, right? 130 approval, 45 approval. Also, you get 45 approval letter, and then 130 approval letter either through your My USCIS account or mail to you. But I mean, it can be mistake, but in all cases, you're supposed to get 2 notices, written notices, I-130, 45 approval notice, and green card. So congratulations. Okay, Ali guess, I'm waiting my green card matchup to now. Well, I think that you need to explain a little bit. I'm not sure what you're asking, but I would be happy to get back to your question here. Okay, so let me see. I'm just a little bit behind here. Okay, so Gigi, you're a student and plan to get married in August. Congratulations. I'm looking for job. Do I have to show 3 years? That's confusing. So you're getting married to U.S. citizen, right? And then you're looking for job. It means that it's about EAD. But do I have to show 3 years? That part is not clear. So if you need an attorney, you know how to find me. Go to my profile and ask the question here, okay? Mrs. D, once again, you need to clarify. So then her question is that once USCIS accept your filing, how soon do they accept your account? Or I'm not sure, like issue your My USCIS account code. I'm not sure. So to clarify, Gigi, I think that you're asking question, like on your 45 and 130A, how far do you go back to in terms of your employment records, employment address past 5 years. And then for you, if you're a foreign national, you need to list most recent employment record or address outside, even though they're beyond 5 years. So that's really important. Okay. Okay. I'm just reviewing some of the question here. Yeah. So then, Chloe, I explained, but I will explain one more time. This is about the K1 processing time, okay? So the K1, in terms of 129F with California Service Center, we're talking 5 months, okay? And then it takes about 2 months to get National Visa Center number, so 7 months, right? And then it takes about 2 or 3 months to actually attend the interview. So we're talking 10 months minimum, 10 months for K1 from the beginning to the end, or up to 1 year. So it's kind of slow, it's a little bit slower now. Yeah, Eagles Forever, I think that you asked this question. So then he filed 751 individually, and then it's been 13 weeks and you didn't get receipt notice. And then let's talk about rejection. So when you file petition or application in mail, right, via mail, and then you don't get anything within 30 days, right? He's beyond that. So then usually you need to expect rejection. You will get everything back to you 30 days later. So one possibility, right? Rejection. Number two, USCIS process your case, but they failed to send you a written notice. So this is why it's critical for all of you include G1145. What that does is that if you need to include your phone number, and the USCIS will send you a text message containing receipt number. So what you can do is that you didn't get any written notice, but you got text message containing receipt number. Then you can contact USCIS and ask, hey guys, I only got receipt number but not notice, and ask them to figure out. But when it comes to 751 notices, we have some cases that USCIS really failed to issue a written notice. We were aggressive in terms of follow-up, but just simply they couldn't issue the notice. I have no idea why that's the case or not. Okay, what is QLE matter? I'm not sure whether I follow you, but I think that this is a case, BIA case, right, on marriage fraud. That's my understanding, but you can clarify. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so then Ankit, you have a master calendar hearing, which is the initial hearing with the immigration court coming on in August. You had a past domestic violence case that was dismissed in the court. And then I don't know what you're asking, but if you need attorney representation for your removal proceeding, it can be 42B, right? Let us know. Okay. Okay. So Plur Kitty 147 file AOS. Okay. Because this person was given 6 months to stay when enter with a tourist visa, and then file AOS prior to expiration. Is that a violation of the visa? Okay, so answer is this. So when you enter the US with a tourist visa in this case, and then they give you 6 months, then looks like this is marriage green card case. So you wait 90 days to get married and apply green card between 3 months and 6 months. Then there is no violation. There is no violation. There is no visa fraud usually. And then also the second part is that, are you legally in the U.S.? Answer is yes, you're legally in the U.S. Okay, so still struggling with the illness. My throats, and then my body is not doing well lately. Been working hard, and then weather, we're in Chicago, fluctuates. It can be 80 degree on other days, 50 degree. So I'm gonna cut it a little bit short, almost 30 minutes anyway. So I will see you next Thursday, 5 p.m. Central Time. Now, thank you so much for joining from TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. For those of you who's finding me on blogs and website videos, thank you so much. But once again, this was Dr. Jae Francis live stream every Thursday, 5 p.m. Central Time. Thank you so much for joining. Peace be with you. I'll see you next week.